So after a 6-hour 20-minute drive of 350 miles, it's the start of the boys' weekend in Wales. So here we are, just walking up Tryfan, or Tryfan, or whatever the locals call it. And behind me we've got Harvey and John. This is a nice gentle amble to start with, just to stretch our legs after the drive. We've heard that before from Harvey. Yeah. Harvey's gentle ambles are often quite difficult. Look, it's our first waterfall. It's quite small though. So, it's the 8th of October. The car said it was 19 degrees C on the way up here. So as we're climbing up, only come up about 100 feet, but we're all stripping off. Now we've just discovered that Harvey was quite conservative with his truth of saying it doesn't get any steeper than it was earlier on. It does, and it has.
It's fairly run of the mill, I suppose. Well, the thing to do is just go and have a look. I mean, it could be that way.
Here we go, paddling in Lake Idwal. We've just seen two ladies walking back from the lake who have been swimming. It's blooming freezing in here. I can't believe they've been swimming.
It's like you're going fishing.
Watch where I'm going.
Stop to pepper anyway. Just slip it into the...
Hi, morning. Here we are on day 2 of the boys in Wales, and we're at Cnicht, the mountain over there. Our original route plan was to have taken us up over there, up Llyn back, and then down into the valley and up onto Cnicht over on my left. But we decided that we were going to cut that section out and go straight up Cnicht, because we felt at our age and with our demeanour at the moment, it was probably better to get rid of 1,000 feet of climbing and 2 miles of the walk. Age is a terrible thing when it stops you doing what you really want to be doing. There's Llyn back, there's the valley, and there's Cnicht. Well, we just made a bit of a faux pas, and rather than walking up this nice track here which traverses the hillside, we went on the lower path, and we've just had to walk up this. From down where those sheep are at the bottom there, we've had to come straight up here, which is at least a 45% slope. Lesson learned, watch the map all the time. Here we are at Croesor Disused Quarry. You can see up there on the top what we've surmised is some sort of wheelhouse for the incline that goes all the way down to the base of the valley, down to the roadway down the bottom. You used to take the slate down. Now here we are up at what we presume is the wheelhouse of the Croesor Quarry. Just walking through it. Amazing huge beam up ahead, up above. There's the wheelhouse. And there's the view down the slope, down to the valley floor below. I wonder whether this was like an old railway carriage that used to go down the slope. And imagine the axles coming through here, 4 wheels on it, slate inside it, obviously up the other way, and lowered down the slope from the wheelhouse. The mine closed in 1931, but during the Second World War it was used as a munitions depot by the MOD, where they stored the munitions that were used in the D-Day landings. And we'd hiked up here to Llyn Croesor in the hope of stopping here for a coffee and have a bite to eat. And Llyn Croesor, as you can probably see, seems to have dried up. There's not much of it here. In fact, we were even thinking of going wild swimming today because I actually brought my towel with me. But there's nothing there at all. What can you do? We're now coming up on a little slate village. Looks like it's seen better days though. Beautifully crafted pieces of slate though in the walls. Over here we have another one of those slate fences or slate walls, and they look like tombstones. I guess they last a long time though. You're not going to rot them in the ground, are you? Now we're making our way through the slate field. I guess this must be all the waste slate that they didn't sell. And there's a little building down there, a little shelter. Maybe somebody could bivvy in that overnight.
Just think some person has touched every piece of this stone. So, isn't it?
And there's Harvey going for a 6.4 difficulty stream crossing, using both hands and feet together, and he's across.
That little bit is quite slidey, that one.
Now I think John's going for an 8.3 difficulty. He's only going to use one hand and both feet. There's the one hand, there's the one hand. Yes, he's doing it, he's managing it. Oh, he's done the splits. No, both hands, Fail, fail. Oh look, another blooming waterfall. How pretty. These boulder fields that we keep coming across are a real strain for the calves and the ankles. We're on our final ascent now up to the north peak of Cnicht. Last 150 metres of climbing to do. And unfortunately we've come up into the cloud bank. And also it's become eerily silent. We've left the waterfalls behind and now it's suddenly got really quiet. There's no birds, there's no animal sounds, there's no car sounds, no signs of life apart from us huffing and puffing. But we have got a nice lakeside view. So here we are, finally at the top of Cnicht. Can you see the stunning views? The 360 panoramas over to Anglesey, all over. Wow, absolutely stunning. Well, I didn't film much of the descent down from Cnicht because the weather conditions were pretty ropey. It was wet, it was raining, and you couldn't see very much, and it was really slippery on the way down. But now we're nearly back down. We're in this gorgeous valley with a pathway along the bottom of it, with all this green moss growing on the walls, and on the other side it's growing all underneath the trees. It's obviously very green and lush down here. But we're nearly back to the car now. Got the last 500 yards to go. And we made it back. Nobody broke anything. Within the last 50 metres of the ascent up to the summit of Cnicht, we managed to see 3 sets of wild campers making their way up there. 3 different sets, 7 people in total. Wasn't going to be the nicest night up there, considering how overcast it was and how damp, but still very jealous of them to be having a night out, particularly at the top of a mountain. Of course, I may not be quite as jealous once I'm back at home drinking some beer and eating a curry back at our Airbnb. Then I may not be so jealous of them being on the top of a mountain. I have to say, I think that today's walk was harder than we were anticipating. Yep, the others agree. We're expecting quite an easy amble on the basis that Cnicht is supposed to be the easiest of the Snowdon summits. And I have to say that that was harder graft than it was going up Snowdon via the miners and pig paths. It was thoroughly enjoyable again though, as most outings in the wild are. Hard work on the old toes and knees though.
You're not filming me speaking Welsh, are you?
Final part of the walk now. A cup of tea and a piece of cake in a little cafe at the bottom of Cnicht.
Algo se muere en el alma cuando un amigo se va. ¡Ole! Cuando un sueño se va, algo se muere en el alma cuando un amigo se va. Algo se muere en el alma cuando un amigo se va. ¡Ole! Todavía no te vayas, por favor, no te vayas todavía. Cuando un amigo se va. ¡Ole!
Okay, so it's Sunday morning, about 7:30. just taking a stroll down to Llyn Padarn to see if I can find the lone tree which you see in so many of the photographs, and take a photo of it at sunrise. It's looking as though Sunday may be a very nice day. Some clear blue sky up there amongst the wispy clouds. There's some wild swimmers in the lake already. Rather them than me. It's chilly this morning. So there's the tree. From this angle, it doesn't look like anything special at all. But from the right angle, along the lake and towards the sunrise, it is an absolutely stunning sight. Snowdonia really is an amazing place. Wales Day 3. We've amended our plans. We were originally going to go to the Cnicht today, but the forecast was for fog at the top all day. So we've had a look at the weather forecast and decided we needed to head further west. So we've come over to a place we've done no research on whatsoever, called the Nantlle Ridge. Parked in a car park, and now we just headed across the road and started our walk up to the Nantlle Ridge. There's nothing like being prepared and doing your research before the walk, and this walk is nothing like doing your research beforehand. We have no idea what we're to expect up here, but we have seen a whole bunch of elderly people in the car park, which leads me to presume we're in the right place for us to do a walk today.
If they can do it, we can do it.
Or at least we hope we can do it if they can do it. So we're around halfway up to the Nantlle Ridge now. And up there ahead you can see Snowdon. The path running up there is the Riddu path. And slightly over to the left, over there, is the Ranger path going up. You can see the top of Snowdon is almost back in the clouds again. Keep seeing it peeping out and then the clouds come back in. So quite pleased we're not up there today. Hello. You can see a little bit more for our lunch stop today. Over there behind me. You can see over to Anglesey, the Menai Strait. And if you can hear in the wind in the other direction, you've got snow. But it is very windy, and I still haven't got my replacement windsock for my GoPro, so you may not be able to hear anything.
Could do.
avoid the precipitous drop at the top. So we decided to take a cross-country route. It's getting quite tiresome, this. Traversing this steep slope is murder on the ankles and knees. What was nice about me was while we were sitting at the top, pondering our options, two fell runners past and ran past us, proceeded to run up the precipitous path to the very top. That is... Hey, what do you think of that? Yeah, on course. It says cool. You're off course. So we just stopped for our second lunch at a place called Trial Level. It's beautiful down here, sheltered from the wind. You can see the sun's out. You can see down the valley down there. Harvey and John climbing the slope up there. So shortly we're going to head off down the slope, down here along this alpine ridge, and then down into the forest and back to the car. Don't you just love Snowdon's indistinct paths? Thank you, my man. We're coming towards the end now, only about 2 miles to go. You can see where we went up to the top there, came down, long up to the other top, which I think was called Mind, came down the ridge, along what we nicknamed the Alpine Path, and then come down through here, and now we're moving into a big pine forest for the last 2 miles of our walk back to the car, which should be, by the looks of it, pretty flat. After you, John.